One of the most major events in the history of the United States took place on Good Friday, April 14, 1865, when our nation's 16th President, Abraham Lincoln, was shot while attending a performance of Our American Cousin at Ford's Theater with his wife and two guests. Abraham Lincoln died the next morning and became the first American president to be killed while in office. Lincoln was shot and killed by 26-year-old Confederate sympathizer and actor John Wilkes Booth. This could quite possibly be the only information we will ever know about the assassination of Abraham Lincoln. Early in the morning of April 26, 1865, after refusing to surrender to Union troops in a tobacco barn, John Wilkes Booth was killed. The truth behind the Lincoln assassination died with him. Was Booth acting alone when he killed Lincoln, or was he supported by a much greater political party or organization? In an interview for the History Channel program Conspiracy, author and lecturer Edward Steers explains that it would have been impossible for John Wilkes Booth to carry out the deed on his own.
Booth could not have put together his conspiracy and carry it out without the support that he got from the Confederate Secret Service operation.
While there is evidence that Booth was aided in his plot to kill Lincoln, no one is quite sure exactly where the help came from. One of the most widely accepted theories is that Confederate President Jefferson Davis, along with several other Confederate leaders, were indeed responsible for the death of President Abraham Lincoln. It is believed that their original plot was to abduct Abraham Lincoln rather than kill him. However, Jefferson Davis did not feel that a plan like this was possible.
He had actually said that Lincoln was a courageous man, and he did not feel that he could be captured or abducted without a very high probability of his being killed. Jefferson Davis did not want Lincoln's death on his head.
So it is believed that Jefferson Davis hired John Wilkes Booth to carry out the kidnapping. This theory is backed by evidence from a Washington bank where John Wilkes Booth allegedly deposited $1,500 into his savings account just days before Lincoln's kidnapping was supposed to take place.
It isn't clear where Booth obtained the $1,500, but the implication clearly is that he got it in Montreal. Booth then disperses this $1,500 over the next 2 months. The suggestion is that the $1,500 is being used to finance his putting together this team of co-conspirators.
On March 17, 1865, Abraham Lincoln was scheduled to attend a special performance for wounded soldiers at Campbell Hospital.
So Booth sends out the word and assembles his team of co-conspirators, and they all arrive and make their way out towards Campbell Hospital. Unfortunately for Booth, Lincoln at the last minute changed plans and didn't attend.
After the discovery of orders from President Lincoln calling for Jefferson Davis's assassination, John Wilkes Booth changed his plan from kidnapping to murder. Booth met with his co-conspirators and devised a plan to murder Lincoln. Booth's plan called for the murder of Abraham Lincoln, Vice President Andrew Johnson, and Secretary of State William Seward. Booth believed that by doing this he would cause the Union to go into utter chaos. Fortunately for the Union, Booth's co-conspirators Lewis Powell and George Atzerodt were unsuccessful in their assassination attempts. Almost immediately after Lincoln's assassination, the entire Union was on a search for John Wilkes Booth and his co-conspirators. However, no one suspected Jefferson Davis had any role in the assassination, and he was never tried. Booth was tracked down and killed at Garrett Farms, and 4 of his co-conspirators were sentenced to hang. Were these people the true masterminds behind the Lincoln assassination, or were they simply Jefferson Davis's scapegoats? We will most likely never know, as anyone who was suspected of having any involvement in the Lincoln assassination was tried and put to death.
Acting on the direct orders of the Confederate government, I do not know. No one does.